So Jared's up first for this week. He says, "What are your thoughts on AI content with stuff like Marketmuse, Frase, Menterprise, etc.? Is it fine to use on Money Site with some manual editing and manually added content?" Yeah, I mean, I use Frase.io is the tool that I've been using. Um, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, for Money Site stuff, I wouldn't just, you know, use the content that it pulls back or creates without manually editing it. Maybe for link building stuff you could, but I wouldn't do that on the Money Site. I would still manually edit stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think Phrase is a good tool. I haven't used any of the others, so I don't know. But I do actually use Phrase for my some of my projects as well. So what about anybody else?
In links is a go-to because of the way that we can relate the entity, the way that we can work with the entity and focus it. And I'm not going to go in depth in that because that's something that was presented in Pofu Live, and I'm not going to share it out of Pofu Live. But the way that he focuses the entity, not only within links, but another tool. Man, I'm slipping today because I'm forgetting all of the software that we use. SEO Surfer or Surfer SEO. So the way that those two are used in conjunction, you can even put Phrase in there, and there's quite a few other software as a service, right? SaaS software that you can use and really get great content. Now, what you get is or what you should be getting is a template if it's for your money site, and then you would use that template to write your content. I wouldn't use what you're given directly. I would edit it and make sure that it's hyper focused for the bot. That's how we do use the content. That's how the VA was trained to use the content.
So the follow-up to that was, can this be used to automate curation for our blogs the way Bradley does it? Thanks a lot. Again, I wouldn't, yes, you can use it to help kind of like, augment or supplement the blog posting for curated content, because it will actually pull in content based upon a search query or a question. And it will pull in the top results, and so yeah, you can use that to help with curating content, but I wouldn't use, again, not for a money site, what I use that as like automated content production, right? I wouldn't do it for that, not for money site. All of the content that I, for my clients is manually curated by my bloggers. So we don't use any automated fashion. Now, I mean, you can streamline and make manual curation a lot more efficient. For example, we're doing a lot of, we started doing social posting for tree contractors. And so we've been developing out a Feedly account, a Feedly Pro account with a ton of content. I've been paying one of my bloggers by the hour to just find and collect good content that's relevant in all different types of categories specific to tree services and landscaping. And it's crazy because like Feedly has what they call, I think it's called Meet Leonard or something like that. Anyways, it's some sort of AI system that's built into it. And so when you like save content articles into a content board in Feedly, then you can go through and select, certain pieces of content that are in that board and tell Leo to go find content like that. And over time, it's machine learning, right? You can train the AI inside of Feedly to go out and find content that matches what you've trained the bot to do. And it's really cool because it will start automatically finding content and adding it to your content boards or your pool of available content that can be used for curating. And so we've, like, in just the last 3 weeks, have amassed quite a library of content that's categorized in specific categories like, tree services general, tree services spring, tree services summer, tree services autumn, tree services winter, and so on and so forth through various categories. And it's great because it's giving us like this basically almost unlimited. And once you train Leo to go out and find similar content, it's basically unlimited content that you can use for curating. So it makes it a hell of a lot more efficient to curate manually when all you got to do is click into like a Feedly content board and find articles that you can use for supporting content for a blog post. So again, I don't do anything automated except for perhaps finding content. Everything else is done manually, but in a very efficient manner, which is what Content Kingpin is all about. It's still the same processes we use. There's just Feedly has improved drastically over the last couple of years, especially with the addition of AI, machine learning. So, those are some of the things that I would recommend.
And yes, you can curate content and focus it on the entity also, and focus in on the entity also. It works really well in conjunction with Content Kingpin, all of the software that we mentioned earlier.